All right, guys, welcome back to the Underground. This is Interactive Chat Volume 16, baby. We going. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. My name is God Cannon. I sure have. I've been playing the hell out of the Zenith Celestial Throne update. Shout out to all the cats and the Game Cat Dojo that have joined me in that. And guys, if you have Zenith or have been playing it and haven't in a while, man, it is time to jump back in. Let me tell you, we are having so much fun, and we need your help. And it's going to take a lot of cats. So, really good stuff so far. Shout out to my boy Markio, who's been helping me groom some people ready for the dungeons and raids and everything. It's really nice having an MMO that is expanding during these times in VR, a real open world MMO. It's glorious. What is up, Gabriel, the Licensed to Meow Game Cat, and Blue Drew, the Underground Game Cat Elite Name Squad in the house, and Pio Trek. There's no games cast today for some of those asking. Brian is on vacation, so we're going to bring things over here and talk about some top secret stuff that Sony is hiding from us. But we know. Actually, it's a lot of frequently asked questions. Some of you might know the answers to these because you're really ingrained in the community and you watch our content. But I feel like some of this stuff needs to be reiterated because there's a lot of people out there that don't know the answers to some of these questions. And I have them. We have them. So we're going to share them and discuss them and talk about them today. And also Brian, while he's out, he did show up on Colin Moriarty's Last Stand podcast on their Patreon. And it was a really good one. I dropped $5 to watch that video, and it was worth it. So if you haven't yet, make sure you go check out Brian over on Colin Moriarty's Last Stand Media podcast over there. It was really, really enjoyable. Good job, dude. Proud of you, homie. You grow up so fast. What is up, good peoples? Good to see you. So let's not waste any more time. But before we get started, really want to thank my patrons who support me over here and donate monthly. Really appreciate you guys. It helps more than you know. Still living the dream, still trying to grow the dream. So it is very much appreciated. And of course, to you lovely people joining in who watch the videos, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you like PSVR2, because there's going to be lots of content in the future that you want to be ready for. So let's go ahead and kick things off. These are the most frequently asked questions right now surrounding PSVR2. We've given a lot of information surrounding the headset in the past. Most of that has been confirmed, but there's still some that is still lingering, and Sony is still not mentioning. This information comes from a mixture of sources between basically myself and Brian. And there's not going to be many people that are going to have access to this information because, quite frankly, there's not a lot of people that have been dedicated to the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years even, to PlayStation VR, supporting it, supporting developers, supporting the headset itself and PlayStation and Sony, because we believe in this thing. And, luckily Sony believes in it too. And so it's really, really exciting times as we wait for the next iteration on the headset. And some of this information comes from the Dev Summit that was leaked back in August. This was a closed developer summit that was hosted by Sony. And then the other just comes from some of our sources. But let it be known that our information, when we tell you this stuff, most of this comes directly from Sony. So you can look at leaks, or you can look at rumors. You can look at, these analysts that are like they study the manufacturing and stuff. Like, that's all great and good information and whatnot. But that's not as accurate as hearing it from Sony themselves and what they're discussing internally. And we're going to talk about it all today. So let's kick things off with the most wanted question answered, and that is the release date. Let's go ahead and rip this Band-Aid off now. The release date, guys, is Q1 2023. That comes directly from Sony themselves. So, like I said, you can look at whatever analytics you want to, But when Sony says it, nothing is going to make more sense than what they are talking about behind the scenes amongst themselves. So I know a lot of people wanted, are hoping still for a Q4 2022 release of this year. We wanted that too. Hell, I wanted them to launch PSVR2 with the PS5, but I understand because of what's going on, because of the market, because of the economy, because of all the things. I have been patient and understanding, and so I'm just happy to get the damn thing at the end of the day because it looks amazing. What's up, Drek Eagle? Greets from Germany. Awesome, man. Thank you for tuning in from Germany. Super Galaxy Godstar, if Sony is not divulging this information, how do you know for sure? Can we really trust your sources? Yes, you can, because this is, let's see, if Sony's not divulging. Well, let me put it this way, Super Galaxy Godstar. A lot of the information that we've said before has been confirmed. So just like then, like I get that, being skeptical and everything. I'm telling you, you're not going to have any better sources than us when it comes to this, at least a consistent source. But yes, this comes from Sony directly. I obviously can't tell where exactly and how I know that, but it comes from them. Anyways, so the release date, Q1 2023, be excited. And I think, a lot of people are wondering about, like, they're wanting to see another showcase with pre-orders, with, they want to see another showcase, another pre-orders and things. I still think it's possible that we could see, obviously there's going to be another showcase this year with more to show. They already did the State of Play recently, which was fantastic. They nailed that. And that's exactly what I was hoping to see. But I'm definitely wanting to see more. They've already confirmed themselves, this is public knowledge, that they have over 20 launch games ready. I think that they're going to have probably like 50 or more. And I think majority of those are going to be, I think like maybe 5 to 10 will be like AAA games. And then, a lot of indie games in there too. But that's just speculating besides what we have confirmed. But anyways, release date Q1 2023. Mark it down. It can't move up. It can only move back. So God forbid it moves back at all. I do hope we get, like I said, another showcase. And then I still think pre-orders could happen this holiday. That is not any inside information. That is just my guess there. I'll try to, because we're kind of having a conversation here too, I will definitely try to differentiate when I'm speculating and when I'm talking about stuff that I actually do know. But I think that there's, on the Sony PlayStation VR2 website itself, it says to sign up for mailing listings and stuff, or sign up for the emails to know when pre-orders go live. So we know there's going to be a pre-order. We know it's going to be Q1 2023. So it could very well be this holiday. You also get some of that Christmas money reserved to get people to spend some of that Christmas money on it, which I would be fine with. Or it's going to be just beginning of, or probably near the beginning of Q1, beginning of like 2023. I mean, so anyways, and price wise, we obviously don't know a price. Price is the last thing we're going to know. I mean, they're probably going to show us a huge showcase and then give us the pre-order date and the price and things like that because they want to sell us on it. The next topic is backwards compatibility. Guys, I regret to inform you, PSVR2 is not going to play PS4 VR games. It's just not. But there is some good news to that. I know a lot of people want the headset to be backwards compatible. I do as well. But when you look at the different tracking systems and everything, at this time, there's nothing that they have in place for that can make it run. Could that happen in the future? I just think it's too difficult, and I don't think it's even worth to them. I don't even think it's worth the time and money when you have a 4K headset that's playing a sub 1080p game that's going to look blurry and nasty. The good news here, guys, the good news is that they're going to have a focus on remasters of PlayStation VR1 games, which I think is the better case scenario. The one example we have already is something they've already officially announced, and that is No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is an example of how they're going to take an existing PSVR 1 game and remaster it for PSVR 2. Probably just add haptics, adaptive triggers, headset rumble, obviously upscaling the resolution, having a much more clarity, taking advantage of the brand new hardware and the full access to the CPU and GPU power, because PS4 VR games are already backwards compatible. However, that is only with using the adapter and the PSVR 1 headset. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the comments as well, see if anything sticks out. I'm trying to do my best to keep an eye on it, but there's a lot of you here, man. Thank you guys for joining in. Hope you're having a great day so far. And, but yeah, I personally like the prospect of PSVR 1 remasters almost slightly more. The problem where it becomes problematic, obviously, is that there's some unanswered questions about the upgrade system and how they're going to do the upgrades. Like if you own Saints and Sinners, and there's a Saints and Sinners PSVR 2 version, is it going to be free if you own the game on PS4? Is it going to be a free upgrade? Is it going to be a $10 upgrade? I think it's going to be a dev by dev basis, and you kind of just have to compare it what they're doing with flat screen games right now. A lot of flat screen games, most of them you buy like the deluxe PS4 edition, or some PS4 editions just come with a PS5 version, and others you have to buy a special PS deluxe edition or something, PS4, to get the PS5 upgrade. So it's going to be a game by game basis, and yeah, in one way it sucks that there's a lot of good games that are going to be left behind potentially, but hopefully a good deal of the games still functioning and working and being sold on the PS4 store can find a way to get their games upgraded for PSVR 2, and I think it'd make for the best experience of those games. There's going to be a lot of people jumping into VR for the first time this next gen, which, by the way, from this the Dev Summit back in August, Sony codenamed the headset NGVR for next gen VR, and we kind of started the hashtag NGVR. I think they should stick with that, man. Even though they've already announced it as PlayStation VR2, PSVR 2, I think they need to. I think it'd be a really good idea to keep that hashtag. I think it's pretty trendy, in my opinion, and I think it'd be cool if they kept that. Anyways, so the next topic, of course. Now this is the one. This is the biggest thing. Oh, as far as backwards compatibility too, you'd be surprised how much I get this question. But I get asked a lot of the time. Will PlayStation VR 2 be playable on PS4? No, that is a hard no. It's going to use USB Type C, and the PS4 doesn't have a USB Type C input, and it wouldn't be able to run virtually any PS5 VR games. So hard no to that. Got to answer them all, guys. No stone unturned here. But if you guys have like a specific question or something, or want to get my attention, do an at me, like at PSVR Underground, so I can see your comment. It'll make it easier for me to see you. Because otherwise there's just a cascade of comments and I'm having a hard time following them. But anyways, so this is the next question that gets asked a lot, or something, a question surrounding not just PlayStation VR, but all of VR. And that is AAA games. Well, this, I think, is what Sony's meal ticket is going to be this generation this next gen, and that is a focus on, these are their words verbatim, a focus on console quality games. Console quality, meaning that games you play on a console should be represented of same quality on PSVR2. And that is a huge, huge deal. That is what people have been asking for VR gaming for a long time now. We've seen glimpses here and there, but we haven't gotten many AAA games. I mean, look at the impact Half-Life Alyx had. That was a huge impact on the VR community. And then, games, of course, like Resident Evil, and now things like Horizon that are coming out. This is going to be it's going to be interesting because, to me, I've seen this shift with Sony. Last gen on PS4, they were very much focused on supporting indie devs. Of course, they had their single player AAA titles, story-driven titles that everybody knows and loves. They're going to continue doing that as well. But there was also this huge push for indies. Well, now the indie market has become extremely competitive. I mean, stuff like Xbox Game Pass has a lot of indies. Nintendo Switch is getting lots of indies. So Sony, I don't think, and then Sony's been also just like oversaturated with indies. So really to stand out, it's going to be really hard for indie devs this gen. So they really need to bring their best game, their A game, their AA game or AAA game as best as they can, because it's going to be really, really competitive for them going up against, the likes of Resident Evil Village and Grand Theft Auto potentially. There's a lot of games I expect to see. We've had, the first rumor game that we broke was Horizon, Call of the Mountain, which we talked about before. And then there was a rumor from similar sources that said like Wipeout. There's a Wipeout being made. I sure hope we still get some cool, smaller titles and stuff, but AAA gaming is a big deal for really getting people's attention in VR. And this hybrid model that comes from Sony as well is genius, because now people, one of the biggest threats to VR gaming are non-VR gamers, and it's made it extremely difficult for Sony to market PlayStation VR, because then people believe that their flat screen gaming is under threats, that it's being threatened to be taken away, or resources are being spent on VR modes and stuff or a VR version of that game when they don't play VR. And I think the hybrid model is a brilliant approach that Sony is doing, and they haven't come out and said this. Once again, this is something that they've said behind the scenes, but they haven't come out and said hybrid games is like one of their models moving forward publicly. They've just demonstrated with games like Resident Evil Village, and they've also said that content is in development for Resident Evil 4. But yeah, I think it'll be a cool way to make people flat screen world, see the games and then be like, oh, kind of tickle their curiosity a little bit of experiencing their favorite games in VR now. And I think kicking things off with Resident Evil Village was a brilliant idea. That's obviously a super successful flat screen game. It's already on pace to outsell Resident Evil 7, which has become recently the highest selling Resident Evil game in the whole series. So, and yeah, I think it's a thing between, people being interested in seeing Lady D, or just the game being not as scary as Resident Evil 7. I do wish it was as scary as Resident Evil 7, but that's okay. I loved Resident Evil 7 because of how scary it was. And I hope to see the rest of the games remastered as well at some point. What I can tell you is that a lot of the future Capcom games or a lot of other AAA games depend on the success. It depends on how successful PSVR2 is. If Resident Evil Village completely takes the world by storm and people love it, Resident Evil 4 comes out, people absolutely love it, then and buy it and purchase it and play it, then they will eventually do Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. It depends on the success of those and whether they think it's not, because these are businesses at the end of the day. They're going to make whatever they think is the best business decision. Drek Eigel, No Man's Sky, yes, has already been officially announced. I know. I've got my living ship right here, baby. I love No Man's Sky. This is amazing. Somebody 3D printed this for me. And it's a living ship, and it's super cool. All right. So, AAA games, man. That's going to be Sony's meal ticket. They're going to be focusing on that. So, again, it's going to be harder for indie devs, but they still have a chance. As long as their game looks good, they're going to have to sell people on their games. I do hope that they continue to improve their marketing. This last State of Play was a great example that Sony can do marketing right for PSVR, but then they back to silence again. So I get it; they're taking their time, but once especially the headset is out, they need to make sure that they market the absolute hell out of that. And Jim Ryan has also stated that, and this is paraphrasing here, but that they have spent a considerable amount of money on third-party titles to have PSVR2 support as well. I'll have a living ship beanie. That shelf doesn't look... The shelf is not stable. I am currently on the lookout for a new shelf. As you can tell, I missed the thing. I need... My stud finder broke. Give me a break. I'll get it fixed later. Thanks, though. I appreciate your concern. All right. So a little cool side feature of these AAA games is that you won't have to download the full game. They will have VR modes, which a lot of the times with these hybrids, they're going to be the full game playable in VR, but you won't have to download all of the flat screen content as well. You'll just have to download. You'll be able to only download what you need for VR support. So that's pretty cool. All right, guys. And the final thing I want to talk about here is PC compatibility. Now, this is another question that gets asked a whole bunch. And really, this is an interesting one out of all of them, because I think what I can say is don't expect any PC support at launch, and definitely far from it, because while this headset is an accessory, it's an accessory to PS5. They want to sell as many PS5s as possible. So I'm not expecting any real PC VR support at launch. I do think, however, there is a possibility that later on down the line, and by later on down the line, I mean years later, there could eventually be support if they think that it is profitable enough, if it is worth it for them to jump into the PC market space. We've already seen them start to port God of War, and I think Uncharted's coming. Spider-Man just got announced for PC. They're trying to spread their reach a little bit, increase their reach and their range with gamers out there. Lots of people are on PC gaming these days. So it is very possible that later on down the line in the future that PC will get support as well. But at this time, don't count on it, because they want to sell PS5s, and that's what they're going to focus on first. And that's what they're going to try to use PSVR2 to do as well. But that's it, guys. I know it's a little bit of a shorter show, but I really appreciate you guys coming in to hang out. But those are the main topics. Just to recap real quick, from the Dev Summit and from our inside sources, We've got the release date, Q1 2023. Mark it down. It's not, like I said, it can only be delayed from there, but I don't think it's going to be delayed. That seems like they're set on that. It will be interesting to see if they run pre-orders for it and stuff before the year end. I would love to see that. Backwards compatibility, not going to happen, but we will get remasters from PSVR1 games on PSVR2. Focus on console quality and AAA games, which is going to be amazing. And then PC compatibility, which it won't. So guys, thank you again for supporting the channel as always. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be back next week with the regular scheduled games cast, and I will see you guys then. You guys have a wonderful night. Come join me in some Zenith, and the Pistol Whip update, I played that as well. It's pretty cool, and just appreciate you guys very much, man. Always being very supportive. Love you guys. Underground out. Later.